Let's review how you'll use the portal to manage the people in your organization. Once you've signed in, click Settings to access the admin functions. Then, click People to view everyone in your organization. You can view each person's extension, name, the package they're subscribed to, standard, pro, or metered user, their role, and mobile number if it has been provided. Clicking the three dots to the right shows additional information about the user, such as the date they were added to the account and their email address. You can also edit details about the user and their phone, adjust their call settings, which determines their present settings of available, busy, or away, or delete the user. Let's go back to the People page. You can add a new person using this button. Then you'll select the package. Metered for general lines such as a conference room or break room. Standard, which includes features like unlimited calling and a local phone number, or Pro, which has additional features like a personal fax box, call recording, voicemail transcripts, international calling, and video capabilities in the communicator. Let's make this person a standard user. Next is the role. The user role has access to their personal calls, voicemails, faxes, team, and other personal and present settings. The manager role has the same access as users, but it includes additional access to all contact centers in the location, call records, and analytics. The trainer role is similar to an account administrator role. Both roles have access to additional admin functions under the Settings tab. There, they can configure people settings, ring destinations and strategies, as well as other key features on the account. Account admins also have access to the billing section of the portal. Let's add a new user. In personal settings, you'll enter a first and last name for the user. It can be the name of a person or a location, for example, conference room A or break room. Please note both fields require a name and cannot be left blank. The name added here also displays on the phone. You'll add an email address here that the user will use to access the portal and any voicemails the user receives. All email notifications will also go to this email address. The mobile number field is optional. If the user plans to take advantage of the mobile app, adding the mobile number here is not advised. If a mobile number is added here, then it will ring based on the user's present settings. Also, it's highly recommended that you set up a local extension so the user can be reached quickly internally. Click the magnifying glass icon to review extensions that are already in use. Since extension 109 isn't in the list, we can use it. Type it in here. Then, you'll only choose to override the time zone if the user or phone is in another time zone from your main account. Next are the personal phone settings for this user. You can add a welcome message that will play for callers before the user's phone rings. For example, the caller might hear, "Thank you for calling Dan. Please hold while we reach him." Or, "Thank you for calling. For training purposes, this call may be recorded." To add a welcome message, you'll use the Sound Manager. You have several options for adding the message. You can upload a recording, type a script and have our software convert it to a sound file, or record a greeting by having the system call you. Choose an existing recording from the Sound Manager. When you use a forwarding whisper, if the receiver is outside of your network, they will hear a brief recorded message before the call connects. For example, you can have it say, "Receiving call from your direct number," or "Call forwarded from Captain Cool." The process for adding a forwarding whisper is the same as the welcome message. For this feature to work though, have the user enable confirm calls in their present settings. You'll enable hot desking if the user shares a desk phone with another person. For example, in a sales or real estate office, a user might share a physical phone. Enabling this option here and on the phone allows the user to enter their extension number and PIN code to temporarily sign in to another desk phone. Under the Security section, you can disable the ability for people to intercom this user's phone. Disabling it prevents the users from being able to project over other speakers. Let's look at voicemail settings. When adding a new user, a new voicemail box is created by default. This means the user will have their own box for receiving voicemails. However, by clicking the drop-down, You can see all other existing voicemail boxes and can choose to send the new user's voicemail to one of these instead. The PIN code field allows you to assign a password to access voicemails. This is a feature the user can enable on their side as well. If a PIN code is added, ensure the checkbox next to Always Ask PIN has been selected so that the user is required to enter their PIN before accessing the voicemails. At times, a caller may make it to someone's voicemail but not leave a message. Selecting the Empty Voicemail Notification checkbox means the user will also receive an email notification for those empty voicemails too. You can also add a voicemail greeting or a temporary greeting for the user here, or let the user manage this on their end. We'll leave this blank so that the user can set them up once this account is active. The caller ID number shown here displays when the user makes calls. You can change it to any of the options available on your account. For example, if you want your company's main number to show, you can make that selection here. Please note that adding users to your account has an additional cost. Before saving the new user, select the checkbox to confirm that adding this service will increase your monthly charges for the remainder of your term, and then click Save. Once you've created the profile, you'll have additional options to review and complete. Under Phone Settings, you'll determine if the new user should have a direct dial number. If you would like to purchase a direct dial number, please contact support. If you already have a number available, you can assign it by clicking Resources and selecting Inbound Numbers. Let's use this open line for this example. Click Edit. Now we'll add the user we just created as the destination for this line. To make the connection, click Person here. And then click the user from the list. Since no other changes are needed, click Save. Now that the line is connected to our user, let's finish setting the user up in the People section. Here we are. Click the three dots next to the user, and then Edit Person. Now we see that the direct number is connected to our user. Under My Lines, you can view the name that will appear on the phone that is assigned to this extension and the phone number that will display when the user makes an outbound call. To make changes to a line's number, caller ID number, or other information, click the Edit button. You can edit the information shown here, such as the user's friendly name or caller ID number. For the changes to take effect, the user must unplug, then plug in the phone. Let's go back to the phone settings. Next is My Devices. Click Add a Device to add a new phone for the user. Select the device brand from the drop-down menu. We'll use Polycom for this example. And then choose the model. Now you can set up all the phone's buttons on the portal. By default, the first 3 buttons are set to line, so the user can make and receive calls on any of those lines. Another option you can add is call parking if you've set this up in advance. It allows a user to place a call on hold in a virtual parking spot and pick it up on any other phone in the office. The other options found here are Presence and Speed Dial. The first allows the user to follow a person's presence settings so they can see when that person is on or off the phone. For example, if you have a receptionist in another room, enabling this setting lets that person see who is on calls and proactively route calls in the best way. Speed Dial lets you program any phone or extension numbers in for faster dialing, such as the number for the home office or headquarters. Once you've finished setting up the buttons, click Save. The Advanced and Provisioning tabs are for Broadvoice administrative use. For questions about using these tabs, please contact support. Let's look back at a couple more tabs under Phone Settings. The Permissions tab allows you to change the user's role. The other information on this screen shows the features the user has access to, like calls, voicemail, faxes, and messaging. These options relate to what will display on their top navigational bar in the portal. The E911 tab displays the information that will show if the user calls 911 from their desk phone. If the user is working from a remote location, then their E911 information should be updated here to reflect the correct location that the phone sits in. Remember to click Save if changes are made. Now the new person is set up. And you can find them in the list.